competences. Who the hell do you think you are?
I see you, I don't
Can you
see you.
do what you're supposed to do?
Everything is okay. It's okay.
And if you are angry, then you are the crazy one.
Give and take.
I don't exist.
For real.
Welcome to For Real episode 21. This is a podcast on human dignity, recorded on the 10th of March 2025 at the Technical University of Delft, the Netherlands, on an evening organized by DEWIS, the Women's Network of Scientists at the TU Delft. We got together with 120 people to look into what it means to matter. Our guests go through a 2-hour experience in which they listen to pre-recorded interviews about the intellectual undermining of women. The music is made by Sarah Jeffrey on recorders and voice, Jorge Dumitriou on viola and guitar, and myself on harp. My name is Andrea Voets, and here at Resonate Productions we make musical journalism by combining social journalism with lots of original music. During 4 moments within For Real, the audience is invited to be interviewed by one of the musicians. In this podcast, you hear those conversations exactly as they took place.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Sarah. I was born in 1985 in Liverpool in England. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Sarah. Nice to meet you. I'm Seju. I was born in 2000 in Mahoba, India.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for coming and being the first today. Which question would you like to talk about?
I think the first one.
What do you imagine people think when they see you?
Well, there are 2 sides to it. It's what I want people to imagine, and the other that I'm often afraid that people are imagining. So I'll start with what I want people to imagine me like. And I think as someone who is curious and who is kind and who is open to listening to all of your wonderful ideas and just always being up for a conversation. But I'm afraid sometimes people see me as someone who's not from Europe, who is perhaps not Dutch, even though I am trying to learn the language, and who is someone who might have very conventional ideas about things ranging from engineering to philosophy to design and even to everyday life. And that's when I think someone will put me in this specific box of this is where you come from, so this is perhaps how you think, and this is perhaps what you do, and this is perhaps what you like. And that's scary.
Aha. What would you like to show them? Like you mentioned that you're curious and you don't want to have conventional ideas. How would you like people to see you?
I think beyond their own biases and beyond even my own biases about myself or perhaps how people see me. So it would be that when they look at me, they shouldn't, or I hope they don't think, oh, that's a female engineer or a female designer, but just as a designer who is interested in these specific ideas, and they don't have to necessarily be female problems that I am interested in, but just problems that are important for all of us to solve together.
Right, female problems.
Yeah, that always. Such a funny one.
And I love being here as well in this environment. I mean, I'm completely unfamiliar with the engineering world, and we've heard some of our interviewees on the tapes talking about it too. Is that something you find is a recurring issue? Female engineering, how it's reacted to in the field?
I think it is. And I honestly didn't think it was when I was interested in it. Since I've been 12, I've always wanted to go to space and be an aerospace engineer. And I'm now studying design, strategic design, which I absolutely love, but I never thought it was impossible or something that would be questioned. But I did mechanical engineering in my bachelor's, and there were 3 girls in my class, including me, in a class of 65.
Wow.
There were And then that was already quite shocking to me. I was like, wait, what happened? Because all the way through school, I had a lot of friends who were interested in engineering. When I took up science in 11th and 12th, that number reduced a little, but it was 10 girls and 20 boys. That was still okay, that's fine. And then in engineering college, it was completely different. And then when I was working, I was the only female in my team. And I didn't think that would be such a problem until I really started working and realized, oh, there are a lot of things that are not taken into account. There are a lot of things that are overlooked just because of your gender.
Might you give an example?
Let me think. This is interesting. I think it's thoughts that I don't want to think about, so then
Yeah.
but it could be something as simple as like a menstrual leave. That is something that is not quite openly discussed. Or it could be if you need to return home after a party and it's quite late at night. It is often perhaps not in the best way thought about how you're going to get home, especially when it's going to get late and it may not be the safest.
Right.
So those are things that you need to kind of be prepared from your end, that okay, this is how I need to manage these things and this is how I will handle them.
It sounds quite exhausting.
It was. It can be, I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. I think that's so important. We can have as young girls or women, of course, nothing's impossible. I can do anything. And then we find these practicalities that really should be solved by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am positive that there will be. I think we will do something about it.
Well, I'm sure all the people that have stood up so far, we're going to try.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and for being the first one to come and talk as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to join here? Yeah. Hello. Hi. Would you like to share your name, place of birth, and year of birth?
I'm Parisa, and I'm from Iran, 1995.
Nice to meet you, Parisa. Is there a question that you would like to answer from these four here?
Yeah, I would like to answer for the third question. When did you feel that you were not taken seriously? I would say because I'm a PhD student here in TUDelft, and basically when I have meetings with my male colleagues, I feel that I'm not taken seriously. When I have scientific discussions with my colleagues, I feel that I'm a bit like left out, like they are not listening to me, or like they are following the arguments of their male colleague rather than me, and I am trying to, make my voice heard, which doesn't make sense to me because that's a scientific discussion and I also have my arguments and I want to be heard and discussed, but they don't listen to me. They just look at each other. Like I had recently a discussion with my two colleagues. They were male and I was the female one. But when I have one-to-one discussions, they listen. But when I have like with two males, three other males, they are not taking me seriously. I am doing a side project, which is there also when they are making decisions. And there's this thinking process, let's say, I'm not taken seriously there as well. Sometimes if I'm doing experiments or if I have meetings when the rest also, like I am doing experiments or meetings with three other male colleagues or my supervisors, I also feel that I'm not taken seriously there because of ideas or thinking process, and I constantly feel that I need to make my voice heard or put some efforts there, which I also don't know why, because I shouldn't. Yeah, that's these are all situations that I haven't felt to be taken seriously.
Yeah, and so it happens when there's more men at the same time, and it's not happening so much.
Yeah, exactly. If
individually.
it's one-to-one discussions, even with my supervisors, if it's one-to-one, or with my colleagues, if it's one-to-one, I always feel heard. I always feel, seen, discussed.
Equal.
Exactly. But when there is other males and then I'm the only female, then I'm left out.
And was there any time that you felt like, yeah, this actually works if I do, if I say this or if I do this will make it work?
To communicate that.
Yeah.
Well, actually I did. For the projects, I was like, okay, if I'm the person who should do this project, or if it's my project and expected from me to do, then I should be the one who is deciding. I communicated that, but then what I received was sometimes it's a forced or pity attention, which also doesn't make sense or doesn't work, because then I felt that they are just CCing me in the emails or calling me just because. Yeah, and this also doesn't work.
Like a formality to pretend that this is working.
Yeah, exactly. So, my main question is there. First of all, I don't understand why this happens. Is it really because I'm a female and they are male? I mean, I don't know this yet. I want to make sure. And if that's the case, then why? Like, me being female, why it should make me not heard or taken seriously? And my third question is then, how can we solve this? Because, I'm an engineer and I'm a female, so I should do my work here.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. All these questions should be listened to and answered appropriately.
I hope so. That's why I'm here. I don't know.
Thank you for sharing this.
Hi, hello. Would you like to give us your name, your year of birth and place of birth?
Yes, I'm Carolina. I was born in 1999 in Portugal.
Portugal. Hi, Carolina. Which is your question?
Yeah, I would like to talk about the last question.
Do you resonate with something that has been said?
Yes, so at the beginning there was a testimony about a woman that was in a workplace and they were giving responsibilities and someone said to her, "Are you sure you can handle all of that?" And I've been in that situation, and I was up there sitting and I thought, that has happened to me as well, the exact same thing. So it's not in my head. And also now, when someone was talking about when you accuse someone of being sexist or that they were discriminating you, and their first action is to say, "No, I'm not being sexist, I'm just trying to protect you." So that really resonated with me as well.
I'm just trying to protect you.
Yeah. I want to make sure you're not taking more than you can. Even though you have agreed this with your manager, I just want to make sure that you're not overworked.
What do you think in such a moment?
Well, I think at the time it comes with some embarrassment of, how dare I take all of this responsibility, take all of this space. And then it hits you that well, it is my place to take this space. But at the time, I think you're kind of embarrassed, or at least I was, of how do I act in this? Is this in my head, or is this actually some kind of condescendence and patronizing going on?
And the embarrassment, is it like shame, or like, what does it, because it sounds so strange to me to be embarrassed when you say, let me please do my job.
Yeah, I think it is some shame, especially when you're young. It's like, oh, of course, the older engineer knows what they're saying. What do I know about what I'm saying? So yes, maybe there is some shame. Yeah.
How often did it happen?
I think so, this bluntly only once. But I always had this feeling that and it was also said to me that my presence was essential because I was a woman. So I brought some peace, some, calm to all these male engineers that needed some almost kind of mothering. Yeah.
And you're born in the year 1999.
Yes, they were old enough to be my fathers.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that sounds disgusting to me.
Yeah, I think, but as the testimony said, it's not sexism, right? Because they're not sexist. They have women, they have wives and children they respect, and they just want to protect you. So it kind of plays in your head that, well, maybe I'm being too demanding, maybe they don't mean it, so it's okay. I think that makes it sometimes harder to step up.
Without being made feel that you're crazy?
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit. Last question. How do you protect yourself against this attitude?
I don't know, because I think the few times I tried to be more assertive, I usually got that feeling of, someone is feisty today, or someone's got an attitude. That has never been said to my face, but you can kind of feel when, And so I really don't know. I think, and it's also not my own experience. I think I've had a lot of this brought down from my mother, who was also kind of in the situations, and she also always told me, you have to have a strong voice and put yourself out there, but then you also feel like you're taking too much space. So it is. Sometimes it feels like we're hardwired to not take space, even though you might have those models. Everyone is telling you, oh yeah, you're a soft presence, you have a soft voice, so it makes you feel, okay, well, what is my position then? Can I not be strong and soft at the same time?
I think that's a very good question to leave us with. Thank you, Kali.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Tracy Davis. I was born in 1985 in Capetown, South Africa.
Okay, welcome, Tracy. What would you like to talk about?
The first question.
What responsibilities lie on your shoulders?
I think women in general, a lot. Coming from South Africa and a country with a very painful history based on race, there are a lot of responsibilities coming out of that. When your parents, when your mom, when your aunts, when the other women in the country who are non-white have fought for certain rights for so many years, there is an inherent responsibility already. Many, many years ago, when I lived in South Africa, I was in senior leadership at a company, and it's immediately sort of you filling the quota. So I was the first non-white person in that level of leadership, and you're filling the quota. So there's a little bit of a humiliation, but it's a great responsibility because you already feel like you need to be the example for any other non-white woman in a position that is more junior, who does not feel like there's an example. Can I be what I see? So there's the responsibility of that from that perspective, from not only being a female, but being a female of color.
And you feel like you can't give that up or walk away from it because of the people who will come after you.
Yes and no. I think yes, in the sense that there is this really inherent responsibility, and also from a cultural perspective, we are very much community people. We're very much about our elders, about who went before us, who made that we were allowed to study, who made that we were allowed to be in different places. We were allowed to go to the beach, for instance, the simplest daily life things. So you do feel that inherent responsibility, but at the same time, once you do get to move in the world a little bit, you also feel that responsibility of trying to be the example. And it doesn't mean you do it ever perfectly, but allow other women, younger women, or women who have been 30 years in very junior positions, not because they don't know anything better, but because they just are not promoted, because you do not look like what we want to see. You do not sound like what we want to hear. So I think it's a bit inherent, but it's also in a sense, it's also something that you can be grateful for, because you are able to step out of that and you are able to try and do more, to try and make things a little bit better for the next person.
Wow, that's really... How does that feel to be able to do?
Tiring. We spoke about exhaustion earlier, right? It's tiring. It's tiring to think of things in that way so many times, and to sit sometimes in meetings where you've come up with a solution, you've said it out loud. 4 meetings later, another man says the solution, and everyone goes, why did we not think of that? And you're thinking, well, if you listen 4 meetings before this, so yes, it's tiring. It's those little things that can be really tiring, but at the same time, to allow it to really overpower is just going to not move you forward.
And in those moments, do you feel like it's an environment where you're able to say, like, come on, I said that 4 meetings ago? Or if we're still at the point that you have to say, oh, well done, sir, that's great.
No, I didn't do that, the latter. But I think that also lies a bit in different personalities. And I think for some women, there is a bit of a more of a softer voice, and that doesn't make anything less. But some people might not feel that. And so you sometimes need someone, even if it's a male ally, to push forward there.
Right.
For me, it was a case of, well, I did say that before. And one of the greatest things is being able to empower others, other females, other people of color, to feel a little bit like, it's okay. Let me actually say, well, have you thought about this?
Yeah, to be able to empower others, that it doesn't feel like it's all the responsibility on your shoulders, but it's carried by the people around you and the next people.
Yeah, can't do it without anyone else.
Exactly. And a last question. If you didn't have to do any of this, if we were already at a point where it was solved, how would it be different? What would you do with all that energy?
Wow. I'd probably play music again.
Amazing.
And do everything else that I've loved doing. And before I worked in education, I was a journalist, and even in that space, also extremely difficult for a female of color in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think I would take time to read all the great stories and and interact with those who have been able to step through and to make differences and empower others.
Yeah. Wow. Great. Well, thank you so much for coming and for sharing that with us. Thank you.
Okay, I will be standing as the interviewer now, so I'll just introduce myself. Hi everyone, my name is Victory. I'm from Nigeria, and I was born in the year 1994. Okay, so which one of the questions would you want to respond to?
Well, I will present myself first. I'm Natalie Mesa. I'm from Peru, and I was born in 1991. I think I would go for the last question. I heard about micromachismo at the beginning, and that reminded me of my first job. Well, my first job in a public institution in Peru. I always wanted to work in a public institution. I'm an environmental engineer, and after working for a while in companies in environmental consultancy work, I finally had my chance to work in a public institution. And I remember since the first day there was an engineer in charge of the mining sector. I was in charge of the hydrocarbons sector, and he always called me Natisita. And he was in his 50s at that time, and it's not something I would expect at work, especially because he referred to the other colleagues, male colleagues, as doctor, even though they were not doctors. But to me, it was Natisita. So, yeah.
Okay, so how exactly did that make you feel? Because I can imagine it's more like dimming your lights in an environment where you should shine. So
Yeah.
Did that affect you? Did that affect your productivity or how you saw things generally?
I think it was a bit the opposite. I wanted to show that I was there because of my knowledge and my capacities. So I used to work harder, to stay there until later, to arrive earlier. And even though I worked there for more than a year, and even though my colleagues recognized my knowledge, so they came to ask for questions or for advice in environmental regulation. But until the end, he didn't change his way of calling me.
Okay, thank you. That's all from my end.
Thank you. Okay, which question would you like to talk about?
The first question.
What would you like to say to your mother?
Okay, I would like to say, hey mom, you are strong, you are brave, and I love you. I think for me, these words are really deep because as I grow, it becomes really clear how much she fought for us, I would say. So my mom has 8 biological children, 7 girls and a boy. My mom went to university after having all of us. Yeah, right? And okay, in Africa, it's a thing for you to have a male child in some families. Although I have a father that doesn't mind, but I can imagine the feeling of looking for that one thing that you think would validate you, having one child and then another and another. And of course, girls are great, right? But the family is one thing, society is another. Even if your family validates you, you still feel like, I think I still need this. But then she was able to pull through everything, even aside that, just being a woman, managing family, career, sometimes it's like you have to give up one for the other. But then just seeing her pull through, I may not have understood it very well then, but she just kept showing up every day. Wow, looking at it from an adult perspective now, every day was not rosy, but she just pulled that strength. I mean, maybe that was what I saw. She kept pulling that strength, and I just think it's really great seeing how much work it is right now. I'm not a mother yet, but I can only imagine looking at society, looking at what it demands from me to build a career now. I just really want to say you are strong. Yeah. I appreciate you and I love you.
That's really nice. Yeah, I agree also. Is your mom here in the Netherlands with you?
No, my mom is in Nigeria.
I see. Well, I'm also impressed. I think that's such a work. And plus, going to the university and have her degree, that's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you too.
We are recording for the final time. Anyone is welcome to come to the centre and to share a sentence on what do you deserve.
I think everyone here in this room deserves to be free, to just be. To be seen, to be heard, respected, and just be.
I think I and all of us deserve to have space to act when we need it, but also space to rest when we need it.
I think the relief not needed to be a superwoman.
I think we deserve the benefit of the doubt, to upfront be believed, be upfront not have to fight to be believed.
I think I deserve to be myself, like everyone in this room, even if I change the way I am at some point.
I think we all need support. Not do this alone. Don't feel you're alone. Please find help and seek for others and feel supported.
This was For Real from the TU Delft. We are Resonate Productions, and you can find us on Instagram at resonate.productions or on facebook.com/musicaljournalism. See you next time.